We are at the Western Wall, the Wailing Wall at Hanukkah, which is a holiday for the Jews. It's a holiday of delight. There are just a lot of candles here, very close to Christmas time. It's this time of the year. It's at the beginning of December. I mean Hanukkah. You can see the menorah there. But I'm here to talk about the Western Wall. Mainly, we are planning to go into the Western Wall tunnels, and I want to explain to you a little bit about it. But you can see the menorah right here. Today they will light the 8th candle, which is the last candle. Here it is in front of you. Let me take a picture of it. It's a festival of happiness. But the wall. When King Herod wanted to build a Jewish temple at the Holy of the Holy site, which is in there, the Dome of the Rock is now symbolized the exact spot of the Holy of the Holy. And he had a problem. No, he had so many problems. But one of the problems is that the Mount Moriah, which is the Holy of the Holy, is too small. And he wanted to impress the world. That's why he built here 4 big walls, and he created an artificial plaza. And then he had a huge plaza. In that plaza he could build a Jewish temple. The only problem is that the Western Wall that you can see now is only a small part of it. Let me put a mask on. This is the part of the Western Wall, but as you can see, it ends there. That's where the Muslim quarter is, actually above it. What the Israelis did at the 80s, they opened the tunnel, and they went all the way until the end of the Western Wall. It's around 400 meters, 1,200 feet. Then in that case, today you can actually visit every part of the Western Wall. Today you can visit only a small part of it. I mean, right now. It costs money, but not a lot, and it's worth it. So now you saw the Western Wall. You know that the Western Wall is not the Holy of the Holy for the Jews. The Holy of the Holy is the Mount Moriah. That is the house of God. That's where Abraham was almost sacrificed his son Isaac. And most of you knows that part of the Western Wall. Then, are you ready to go in? Yes, next part of the video will be already inside the Holy of the Holy. People look at that model of the temple at the time of King Herod, time of Jesus, then the Western Wall is somewhere here. And the Western Wall tunnels will take us to all over. You can see the arches here. This is part of it. That at the time of Herod, sorry about the noise, you can see the Jewish temple. Today it's the Dome of the Rock. Then let's continue the tour, please. Remember the men department that we visited at the beginning of the video? We had the indoor department. We saw an arch there. Then at the end of the arch that you saw is there. This is the section of the women in the Indo part. Below it, it's the section of the man that we saw. Remember, the Indo part shows you that there is another, we are on top of the bridge. There's another bridge here. And the street level is right there. This is the street level from the 2nd century, and this is the last arch. The arch that you see here brought the people from the upper city to the lower city, and the aqueduct was on top of it as well. Let's continue the tour, please. Here you can see part of the mikveh, the Jewish little bath. The Jews had to purify their body before they enter to the Holy of the Holy, or to the temple. Look how beautiful is the synagogue. Here you can see the two parts of the synagogue. The men department is at the front, and the women is at the back, and it's facing to the Holy of the Holy. All the synagogues, or most of the synagogues, are facing to the Holy of the Holy, which is today the Dome of the Rock, but that was the first stone ever. And you can see for the first time the Western Wall stones. Those are part of the stones of the Western Wall, the lower one, for example, but that's too bad. Look how big that stone is. It actually starts there. Here it is. And far away, it's the third curved stone in the world. Now you can see that King Herod built frames here, just for beauty, and he didn't use cement, and you can see here, 2 centimeters gap between one stone to another. That hose is part of the water system, or a bath, Roman bath that they built here, the Romans. After that, you can see the plaster of the wall. And let's continue, please. The end of the stone is right here. See that part of the Roman stones of King Herod. Amazing, isn't it? This is a synagogue, an active synagogue, which is so close to the Holy of the Holy, and I will show you where is that exact point. Look how beautiful it is. That was an entrance to the Temple Mount. One of the gate, it's called Worn Gate, one of the gate to the Temple Mount at the time of King Herod. But it's sealed. And we are crossing now the Holy of the Holy, which is, if you saw the men department, this is the women department. This is the closest place to the foundation stone, to the house of God. In the Holy of the Holy, which is the closest place to the house of God. You can see that the Jews are living here, lots of notes as well. But if you're not afraid to look down, you can see the street from the 1st century. We're going to touch that street, but not here, later on. But it shows you that we are not really walking on the 1st century street. This is a narrow part of the Western Wall. Above us is the Muslim quarter. You can see the stones, and I'm touching the stones for you. And before I forget, did you already subscribe my channel or not yet? I do have more than 19,000 videos of the Holy Land. Then please do that. We're talking about 2,000 years old stones, and he didn't use cement. Remember, there's a gap of 2 centimeters between each stone. At 70 AD, the Romans destroy the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. And you can see here evidence for that destruction. You can see the stones from the Herodian time on the floor. It means above us. But above us now is the Muslim quarter. Then evidence from the destruction of the temple in 70 AD. Original site. I mean, to the left it's cement. This is from the 80s, 90s, but this is from 2,000 years ago. Let's look at that part of the floor. Look at the breeze. Water system. Because there's no water in Jerusalem, then every place that you could use, they use as a water system. You see the plaster right here. And another one from the 14th century, water system. And what you can see here is already the original bedrock. The Western Wall stones was built on top of it. Then this is the foundation of the Western Wall. Hashmonaean system, Hashmonaean the Maccabees, 2nd century BC. And this is the street from the time of King Herod. You will see it soon. Now we are entering now to the 1st century floor. This is the road, the main road, and it might be built, maybe it was built by King Herod, maybe by his sons. But you can see that part reach the bad stone. You can see the stones of King Herod, and this is the original stone. Let me show you it in the map. We are somewhere. You can see that the street goes up, and you can see a little bit of the bedrock itself. We are there. You can see two more columns from this time, and maybe that is an evidence for the paving from the second temple by King Herod. This is the end of the street. What you can see there is quarry, and part of the quarry that you will see is a stone that has started to curve, and they stopped. Maybe King Herod died, maybe they didn't need more stones, or maybe enhancement to use face mask. Maybe he died and they stopped building it. There's so many rumors, but soon you will see one of those stones that we curved but it didn't use. Now, I just came from that street, but now there's another pool, and after he died, they stopped building it. And you can see the quarry here. They stone the future stones for the temple, but they didn't use them. Now we are going through, we live in the quarry, and we are going to the end of the temple, and soon you will meet a water system from the Hashmonite time, from 2nd century BC, from the time of the Maccabees, which is beautiful to see. We're not so far away from the beginning of the Via Dolorosa and the Damascus Gate. You still see here stones with the beautiful fern of the Western Wall, and we are climbing up to the aqueduct that the Hashmonite built. Water is a problem in Jerusalem. Then they used everything that they could to bring water from far away to the city. Then we are living the temple now. In that area, the north part, you could find a lot of fortresses that everyone who conquered Jerusalem used. One of them will be the Antonia, which from there King Herod controlled the Temple Mount, and we believe, or at least some of us believe, that Jesus was judged. That's the Praetorium. That's what Pontius Pilate judged Jesus. And from there, the way to the cross was quite fast. And look how beautiful it is. The quarry, the aqueduct is narrow, mainly because you need the water to flow, but it's so difficult to curve that. If it's for one person, if it's one person can walk here, then it's more than enough. Then that's how they build it. Look at the floor above it, the ceiling. Beautiful, isn't it? Look how beautiful it is. from here the exit will be to the Muslim quarter, although the Via Dolorosa is a Christian thing, but it's still the beginning of it are at the Muslim quarter of the old city of Jerusalem. Amazing, isn't it? Breathtaking, what can I tell you? And what you can see are pools. There are two, one here. You still see. Can? But the bigger part of it is there. Now, King Herod built the street that we actually visit, but he knew that the aqueduct is here too. Then what he did, he actually blocked it. This is kind of a dam. See that? But he used the pools that been here as a mold for the fortress above us, the Antonia, the same place that so many believes that Jesus was judge. Then we're going to climb up and we will see it, and then we will say goodbye. Remember, subscribe my channel, please. If you reach that point, means that you watch everything, please tell me something about it. It's supposed to be rainy soon, then let's cross the fingers that it's still blue sky. I need the blue skies, please, please. Wait with me, please, if you want to see the beginning of the Via Dolorosa, the first station, the second station, and Antonia. And we are already outside. מה שלומך? תודה, תודה. And this is the Antonia. לא. תודה. That's where Jesus was judged by Pontius Pilate. And that's where King Herod saw everything. Then see you in my next video. Bye bye.